Good evening, everybody. Draft for Upside coming at you Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. I am here with Brewery Mark, Chris Emmerich, and yours truly, Johnny Danger. We've got some PGA to talk about. We've got Thursday night football. We've got COVID infections running rampant in the NFL. We got all kinds of things for you. How are you boys tonight?
Good.
Hey, I'm doing good. You're moving a little slow there on camera, buddy.
I'm just working on that Matrix thing where you just dodge the bullets. So I don't know. I'm sitting in my kitchen instead of the office. Maybe the internet lag is attributed to that, but it shouldn't be. So I don't know. Who knows? I could reset the computer. Maybe I will after we take a break. See if that helps. But for now, let's get into it, shall we? We'll go over the latest news. I see that Stephon Gilmore tested positive for the Patriots, and then it came out that Cam and him had dinner together Friday night just before Cam announced that he was COVID positive. So that's not great. Looks like everybody else has been clean so far. The Patriots will probably still play unless they find another person positive. Gilmore is away from the team. The Titans, two more of their players tested positive, including Corey Davis. It appears that they had unsanctioned private practices at some school against the quarantine order from the NFL. So who knows what's going to happen? They're definitely going to cancel that game with Buffalo, if you ask me. I mean, that's definitely just out. So forget about those players this week. And some of the people are throwing around the word forfeiture because they blatantly disrespected the NFL's rules. What do you think about that?
I'm all for it. I think that's actually the best way to move forward with that. If you see somebody that's blatantly broken the rules like that and has had an infection it's this crazy, like you should forfeit it. Just like, maybe there's other groups of people that, blatantly went against certain rules and regulations, and maybe there should be a forfeiture there too. I don't know if we need it, but look, let's be honest. The Titans probably weren't going to beat Pittsburgh, and they're probably going to lose this game anyway. So who cares? I mean,
well, season-long fantasy players care. Other than season-long fantasy players, nobody really cares. But I think you're right, man. I think a forced loss or loss of draft pick capital, something. I mean, something's got to hit these people, because I tell you, the $10,000 to $25,000 fines to people who make $4 million a year just don't care. Just doesn't matter.
So what are we drinking?
Water, but I'm drinking out of this fantastic Darth Vader cup. Look at that. Yeah. Sweet. Sweet.
Well, I am drinking a double barrel aged Imperial Stout and barley wine blend, conditioned on double vanilla. Let's see, it's a 2 bourbon barrel aged stouts, 2 apple brandy barrel aged stouts, 2 bourbon barrel aged barley wines, all blended together for an additional 12 months from their original barrel aging. And that is the result. And then they aged it on Madagascar and Tahitian vanilla beans.
That's a whole lot going on there, man.
It is quite tasty.
I don't think I need a beer after listening to all that. I think you've got it handled for me.
I know. I had to pull up the description because I knew that was too much to remember.
Mark, I like your Liberty Street rocking shirt there. That's nice.
Yeah, one of my favorite breweries.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Joe in a while. Got to talk.
Yeah.
Got to find Joe.
Yeah, I'm just drinking the Mosaic Promise.
Yeah, buddy. I think that you bought stock in Founders with some of that winnings on that first Sunday night.
I do like Founders.
I think we all have different camera setups right now too. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, this is different than the norm. It's really throwing me off. Mark, are those like sound panels in the background? Did you cover up the mirror?
It's a sound blanket.
Ah, nice.
Yep.
I like it.
On a new microphone, have a little different camera angle. I'm slowly soundproofing the room.
Nice. I'm trying to keep my head tilted up to keep the screen glare off the glasses. Just for you, Chris.
But you're looking mighty orange. It's
I know.
It's
a beautiful thing. I'm probably going to reset this program here at some point and move into the office when the lights
super tan. You're super tan right now.
Well, if the leader of the free world can be orange, so can I.
That's right.
Oh man. Well, I tell you, PGA is coming up tomorrow. So, Mark, do you have a course breakdown? We can talk briefly about the PGA. I made money in PGA lineup last week. I played $1 and won $3. Yes.
Yeah, I don't really have a course breakdown, but it's a pretty standard desert course. It's long. It's got wide fairways. It's easy to hit. You can expect rounds of about -20. And if you look at the course history, there's no favoritism between bombers and ball strikers. So it's a pretty good blend. You can pretty much play everybody. For me, the key stats are going to be off the tee and ball striking and approach.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that. I've got some approach, some ARG, of course, and birdies are better because I think this is going to be another one of those like 20 under victory courses. So DK scoring, which is basically just birdies are better, avoiding bogeys, getting birdies and eagles, and so we'll be factoring in DK scoring a little bit more than I normally would. I'll tell you, I'm not going to break it all the way down. We don't want to spend that much time talking about it, but I'll give you some of my highlights. This for me is kind of avoid the very guys at the top just because of pricing this week seems a little tougher for me. Bryson, of course, is crazy good, but I'm probably not going to play a lot of him. I'm on Hideki. Hideki's my top owned guy right now. I built 3 lineups, so that's 3 out of 3. But yeah, Hideki's my number 1 guy. I like Scheffler a lot too. How about you?
Yeah, I have a lot of Hideki, which I think everybody will have.
Sure.
He'll be super high owned.
Mm-hmm.
My next favorite guy is Joaquin Niemann. He has a very good course history. He's been striking the ball really good lately. And, he's a good fit for the course. And then I have some Brendan Steele, Kevin Streelman, Doc Redman. My favorite long ball hitter of the week is going to be Matthew Wolff. And then the one other player I'm playing, I don't know if he'll be popular or not, I haven't checked the ownership, is Ricky Fowler. Ricky always does good at the Waste Management, which is another desert course. So I'm throwing him into some lineups.
I don't have anything to say since Mark just took all my guys, like literally at the end there. I was like, look, I'm going to have something to say.
Oh,
dancing around Matthew Wolff, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
He just said Wolff, so let me pivot to my next guy. And then he's like, Ricky Fowler.
Yep.
I look to the left, and that's Ricky Fowler.
I've got written in big letters on my notes, Steels and Streels. So you nailed the Brendan Steele and Streelman, both those guys. I'm into them both. So, but Chris, I'm sure you could tell us a little course history here and who won last year.
I can't. But was it Kevin Na?
It was Kevin Na. This is his victory last year. It was Kevin Na. This is his one course he won last year.
And he is not in good form recently. But he's also finished second at this tournament too. If you go back, actually, he's won it twice in the last 9 years. So he's going for the hat trick. He either misses the cut or he finishes top 2. So he's penciled into my lineup, as well as one Stuart Sink is another guy that I kind of
like. Everybody named Cameron. That's who I'm on here. Cam Davis, Cam Smith. Those are my 2 guys. I think there's one more Cam in there. Cam Davis, Cam Smith. Who's the other? Cam Champ.
Cam Champ, yeah.
Yep. So I could play the triple Cam lineup. But those are my favorite guys. Luke List, he's just been on fire recently. I think he can keep that going. Patrick Cantlay. And then probably Doc with you. I'm with you on Doc. So I think you hit all the guys that I like. So
I'm going to tell you one that you're going to get good leverage on, great Doc really well, is Zalatoris. Real bad week last week. But
Will Zalatoris, man. Yeah, he lined up really good last week. And mentally, I think he just kind of biffed it because all the signs pointed to him last week. This course is very similar. So I'm with you, man. That's a great pick.
Awesome.
What about Louis O? Louis O always makes the cuts, right?
Yeah, I have a sprinkling, not much.
He's just too expensive. He needs to be just a little cheaper. But it's all good. I'm staying away from Jason Day in English and probably everybody else up at the top besides maybe just a touch of Bryson.
Yeah, I think I have 2 of 20 lineups with Bryson. I have 2 with Cantlay as my top.
We'll see if I get inspired. I actually threw in a little Morikawa too. I'll have to dig into it. Maybe I'll get bored a little bit later and do the 10-cent 20 max. It'll be fun. All right, let's move on. Thursday night. Christopher, what's going on Thursday night?
We've got a game. We've got a rematch, a Super Bowl rematch. Not the most recent Super Bowl, but we've got Tom Brady and Nick Foles going head-to-head as the Chicago Bears host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, banged-up Buccaneers. I don't know, man. This it's hard to get excited for this beyond the storyline that I just told you.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these defenses have been absolutely lights out. So it's, who's going to score? I mean, look, we look at Tampa Bay, we look at that offense, even if the receivers are there, Chicago hasn't given up a receiving touchdown yet. Only Calvin Ridley got over 100 yards. Everybody else stayed practically under 50, except for Amendola, which, that's an aberration. You look at the running backs, they have given up a lot of touchdowns, but not really big games per se. So, maybe some Ronald Jones. We have to look at Fournette's availability. I'm not totally sure. I'm about to pull that up and look at some practice reports on the other side of it. Tampa Bay has not given up a ton to running backs, a couple touchdowns here and there, some yards. And from a receiving standpoint, aside from that big game in Carolina with Teddy Bridgewater, they kind of stifled a lot of the attacks. But it's not like they've gone, the context is they've played Denver, Carolina, banged up New Orleans, and the Chargers. So, what can you really take from that?
I think that the winning lineup Thursday night for the showdown is going to be Gronk, Brait, and OJ Howard all in the same lineup. All 3 touchdowns, all 3 of those guys. No wide receiver touchdowns. I was listening to Jeff Manns in the car, and he inspired me to go look at the highlights of Tom Brady this last week. And he's like, yeah, okay, he threw 5 touchdowns, but go back and watch the tape. He underthrew badly all of them, and Mike Evans and crew came back to all of them. That his arm strength just isn't there, and don't get too excited about those 5 touchdowns because he's just underthrowing and throwing ducks. It's his wide receivers making him look good.
And I mean, but Jeff's kind of an old angry guy who
is a lot.
Everybody is underthrowing, and I mean that's
right.
kind of that's his MO, is just telling everybody that they're underthrowing balls all the time. Sometimes he's right, but I mean I don't know if that's I haven't gone back and watched them all, but we'll see. But it's just a defensive matchup. I think one of the things that when you're looking at these is kind of going back and looking at it from a game theory standpoint and what's been winning and what is winning. And really the 2 kind of builds that we've seen are 4-2s and 5-1s. Regardless of how you have that distributed, those are the 2 kind of lineup builds that have been working. And then most recently you had I'm not totally sure the numbers on it, but it was Kittle was the captain, and then you had an Eagles defense, and it was a unique lineup. So if you have the defense against your guy and you have 3 wide receivers, I think it was a 3-3, and they didn't have Nick Mullins. And so that's kind of counterintuitive in the sense that you'd have 3 wide receivers, or 1 in this case, a tight end, that, if they're doing well, then the quarterback should be doing well. And then probably the defense doesn't get played, but because the defense can score some touchdowns off of interceptions, that's why that lineup works. Is that a lineup that you want to build all the time? Not necessarily, but when you start thinking about game theory and correlations and how this lineup can be unique and how you can win $1 million, or in this case, $400,000, that's kind of the way that you need to look at and build this kind of lineup for a showdown.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going with those 150 max big tournaments, you got to get a little wacky, got a little weird. Man. I mean, if Damiere Byrd would have scored a touchdown for us, I think I could have had a couple of lineups be really nice on that Monday night. But, he came close. He had 9 targets, had a couple of end zone targets, and just couldn't pull it out. It was an interesting game. All right. Hey, by the way, I remember last Thursday night, you got a little tipsy there, Chris, and you leaned into the microphone super excitedly and said, "Gabriel Davis." How about that?
Well, I told you I was right.
I was just flipping through my notes from last week, and I have Gabriel Davis circled and starred on the notes from last Thursday. I saw that pop up in the box score, and I had to remind myself to say something to you. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was 1 target, 1 reception.
Right?
And I mean, it paid off. But I mean, what you actually should look at is that he was out there for 58% of the snaps. He did run 20 routes, which was more than Cole Beasley, which I actually think it was even more than Dawson Knox and Tyler Kroft combined. Mm-hmm. So he was out there. He's going to be a guy that you can play week to week or maybe stash if a guy like John Brown is hurt. Obviously, we're not looking at that game this week because we're anticipating it not being played.
Yeah, true story. I saw the Raiders also had a positive test, but they've moved that person off site and they're continuing on with practice without even closing today, which I think might have been a mistake. Why not close Wednesday practice? Just give everybody that extra day to try to get test and contact tracing done and clean stuff up. It's a little confusing to me with what's going on with other teams that they would just press forward and just eliminate the one guy. But I don't even know who it was. Maybe it was a practice teamer that just sits on an exercise bike all game. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. But Mark, any thoughts for you? You've been doing a lot of showdowns. Any thoughts for this game? You kind of heard Chris's theory. What are you looking at so far?
I really haven't started my builds on it yet. But my first look at it is going more traditional with 4-2 lineups. Mm-hmm. I like Foles and Robinson here. And I'm going to run it back with Brady and Evans for sure. I just got to decide on my last two and how to squeeze them in.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I mean, I was kind of joking, but I'm starting to maybe think maybe I will throw a triple tight end lineup in. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go triple tight end, but
all from one team even.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, screw it. Weird things happen, right?
Somebody's got to pay the rake.
Especially in showdowns.
Right. Let's see. Let's take a quick look here. See if we see any extreme value like Deebo Samuel being mysteriously priced at $200 last week. That was random.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I put in enough lineups that if he went off, I was good. If he didn't, I was good.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody I really like here. I mean, Cordell Patterson always has that chance to return one back, and he has been taking a couple of snaps in running plays at 2,200, but there's nothing below him unless you want to take a flyer on Ted Ginn.
Now, what do you think about the Bears' defensive line against Tampa's offensive line? Tampa's line is not that great, so it might be a good time for Bears defense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Bears defense is certainly playable. It's just, as I've said before, you don't play two defenses and maybe you play a kicker on the other side of that and you can stack some lineups. And that's okay. Yeah, there's not a lot of guys down here that are super cheap. So, it should be a good contest as a result of that. I hate it when you're cheap guys that are obvious.
Or when like Anthony Sherman scores 2 touchdowns.
Well, he only scored 1. So, but yeah, it would have been terrible.
Yeah. Right on.
I wanted Shepard to score that touchdown. He got tackled on the 1-inch line.
Mm-hmm.
All he had to do is stretch that ball out.
Stretch it. All right. Shall we get into week 5?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's start off with the Carolina Panthers heading to Atlanta. 54-point over-under, 2.5-point favorite are the Falcons. What a mess that game was. I mean, who were those leading receivers for the Falcons last week? One was Blake and the guy, the Zacharias. Weird when all 3 of their big name guys start, and Gage was completely absent. Ridley clearly just couldn't cut, couldn't move, couldn't get free, and Julio was just hurt. He should have just sat the game out. It's a weird game. Zacharias, is that the guy's name?
Yep.
I see he's still at $3,000 bare minimum on DK this week. If Julio's out, do you take any flyer on him like we did with Demir Bird, which is mysteriously still $3,000, even though he's getting like 7, 8, 9 targets a game?
Well, again, a lot of the pricing comes out before the Monday night games, and so the usage and results of those games doesn't influence the pricing as much as the Sunday games do. Yeah, I think they're both kind of really playable in large scale GPPs if those are going to be guys that you want. I mean, this is a game that I think you do want to target. I think it's been kind of the recipe to play against Atlanta and get your wide receivers in there. So I really like the Carolina side of it. You got DJ Moore, you got Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie Anderson probably holds a little bit higher ownership, but he's the guy that you probably will want to target. But I like DJ Moore all the same too. Mike Davis is another great play from this game. I like Teddy Bridgewater, as I've said. So look, when Teddy Bridgewater and a Carolina stack wins somebody the $1 million, just remember, I was there week one. I was saying
if it's going to be anybody, Chris, it's going to be you. So there's no reason to.
Probably not. I don't play the Millie Maker very often anymore. So probably not going to be me. Hopefully, I can win a big GPP with it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a game that we can look at. We can stack, and then coming back, I still like Russell Gage. He still ran 32 routes. Zacchaeus ran 33. So it's pretty similar. But if you need that salary savings, that's a place that you can go. And then Hayden Hurst is running a ton of routes. He ran more last week than he had in the previous 3, despite his targets kind of remaining the same. But I think if we see a reduction in playing time from Julio and Ridley, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a guy that's going to find his way into the end zone probably more frequently than the wide receivers. And certainly we're not going to see a lot of Todd Gurley 2-touchdown games. So as we saw, he had a hard enough time getting those extra yards from time to time. So I think that was more of an enigma than it was something that's going to be a consistent trend.
And Mark, though, you see that Carolina has given up big numbers to running backs. Are you going to play any Gurley anyways, despite what Mr. Emmerich says?
I'll probably have one lineup with him in it, but no, my main lineup will be Gage and Hurst stacked with Ryan. And I love Mike Davis in this game coming back the other way. I love it. I love that play.
So you want to go back to the well with Ryan?
Yep.
I like it.
Absolutely. He'll bounce back. It's in Atlanta. It'll be all right.
I mean, when it comes to the games against running backs, those numbers are inflated off of week 1 and week 2. Josh Jacobs, 3 touchdowns, 93 yards. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones both had a touchdown. Leonard had 2. Since then, Eckler and Kelly kind of had some problems. I mean, 93 yards combined or 103 yards combined with a touchdown. That's not bad. But last week, Chase Edmonds and Kenyon Drake did not have a good game. I think they only totaled, let's see, what's that? 45 carried the 1. We've got 51 and 17. They did score a touchdown receiving, but that's where those points are. So it's important to give context to that. Do I think Todd Gurley is a Josh Jacobs, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette kind of guy, or do I think he's more like a Josh Kelly, Chase Edmonds, Kenyon Drake, or less?
Probably less.
You got to stop with the hums. You got to stop with it. Stop it. Throw me up.
Yeah, I can echo what you guys said here. I'm not interested in Ryan. I'm more interested in the other side. I'll play Teddy before I play Ryan personally. He burned me last week, and I'm mad at him, so I'm done with him for a week. That's how I play.
Well, I love this game, so I'm going to have one from each side. So
Matt Ryan, right, got it.
Yeah, make some notes when I fade some guys. I'm probably not going to play Arizona for the first time too. So just mark down Drake having his 120-yard, 2-touchdown, 10-catch game because I'm off him. So I'm done. So, anyways, moving on. Cincinnati Bengals going to Baltimore. 13-point favorites are the Ravens. 51.5-point over/under here. Mark, what do you think of this game?
Should be a pretty easy win for Baltimore. I do like the way Joe Mixon's running, but Baltimore's got a great defense, so I don't really see much out of it. They'll probably trick the young rookie a little bit in the secondary. So I'm kind of off Cincinnati. Going the other way.
Burrow's been pretty tight lately, and any concern with Lamar Jackson reportedly having some knee issues in practice today?
I was going to say just from the last couple of weeks, he seems hesitant to run as much as he did last year, which to me brings down his value a little bit. I'm not overly concerned about it, but I think we're going to lose a little bit of his running. He's going to hand the ball off a little bit more. Obviously, he loves his tight ends and his short routes. So that's where I would target.
I just have a weird feeling this game's going to go under, so I don't know how much I like this game at all, personally. Chris, what do you think?
So I don't know if you mentioned it, but Jackson did miss practice today, non-serious knee injury. So that could be part of the reason he's not running it as much. I just looked at the numbers, and it is indeed true that over the last 2 games, he has not ran the ball very often. Maybe he just didn't really need to, in the sense of, well, he needed to do something against Kansas City, but I don't think running the ball was going to be the thing that they needed to get back into that game after it kind of got out of hand. And then last week it was against Washington. Like, did he even really need to play? Of course not. That team's a mess. So I don't know. I think you can take stabs at Mark Andrews if we believe that. Well, and I guess Marquise Brown too, because if we believe that he's going to have a tendency to throw the ball as opposed to run and design that, maybe this offense turns into more of a passing, or those options turn into passing plays. And as a result, we're going to see more targets to Mark Andrews. We're going to see more targets to Marquise Brown. And if they get more targets, maybe they get more yards. And if they get more yards, maybe they make it past that special line that gives us an extra 6 points. And if they get that extra 6 points, maybe that's money back into our bank accounts to play another week.
Fair. Joe Mixon won some people some money last week. Any interest in him against this Baltimore D?
Yeah, where the fuck did that come from?
Right?
I mean, I think I was up Saturday night, like picking up Gio Bernard because people were afraid that Mixon wasn't going to play, and then all of a sudden Mixon, plays and has
a career game.
And of course, I didn't even look at it. His price was great. He graded out in projections and models, but those things don't take into account injury scares. So
right.
Whoever put that fucking information out is on my shit list, and I am not happy with him.
Yeah, everybody that goes off is not going to be on any one of my lineups, so that certainly was not there. That's just the way that it goes. Yeah, I'm still waiting for AJ Green. I think that you are going to see him get involved down the line. I put him in my article as a guy to keep an eye on, or even trade somebody low ball offer for later. It's not going to be this week. I don't really like this game. I mean, Andrews can always fit in if I got the money and he's sitting there staring at me. But I don't think I'm in this game at all for the most part. I don't know how many lineups I'm going to do. I might just do one lineup this week. What do you think of that?
This is like the good old days.
I think
yeah. Was that, Chris?
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
You're not going to have one lineup. I guarantee
one lineup.
Guarantee it.
One lineup.
I can't believe we're just kind of glancing over the obvious, emerging superstar in this game is T. Higgins. I know he's not in your article, and I know you don't like T. Higgins, and I think that's absolutely wrong. T. Higgins has been great. He's been getting high-value opportunities. He's been getting targets in the end zone. He's been playing a significant amount of the snaps, a reduction last week, 55%, but, still 7 targets. Market share 17% last week, that's overall. And then his air yards, 33% of the air yards, Danger.
I think he continues to go down from those numbers. He went down last week from the week before. He's going to go down this week from last week.
He went up the week before that, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And look, 39% of a team's air yards is a lot. So, yeah, of course, he's probably going to go down. When you think he's going to go up to 50%? I mean, come on.
Non-factor.
Come on.
Non-factor. Moving on. Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Houston. 6.5-point favorites are the Texans. 54.5 here. DJ Chark is back. I like it. I think Minshew might be on a couple of my season-long teams this week because I waited forever and drafted terrible quarterbacks. So I'm playing the quarterback shuffle every week. I think Minshew's in there for me. I think him and Herbert are going to be my boys this week. Mark, first thoughts on Jacksonville and Houston?
First thoughts is I'm playing Houston's defense as my main DFS defense this week. Minshew's thrown an interception in every week since week 1. Last week got me value playing Cincinnati in my lineups, won me some money there, so I'm kind of sticking there. Otherwise, I don't know. This is the game that I've been running through my head because I just don't know post Bill O'Brien. I don't know if you heard the news today. I guess it was a player revolt started by J.J. Watt that ultimately got him fired. So I don't know how the new coaching staff's going to do, how they're going to play or anything. I think Will Fuller is always in play. Deshaun Watson's always in play. But that's about it for me. Chris?
I was watching Danger. I don't know what he's doing.
Handling some other things. It's fine.
Awesome. Well,
totally
hey,
fine.
I think Will Fuller's a great play. Actually, I don't think Brandon Cooks is, but I mean, I guess you could play him after that 0. But look, Will Fuller. I mean, look what he's done except for that one game. 22, 15, and 19 fantasy points. A ton of targets. I'm going to co-sign that. But the two other plays that I really like are David Johnson against a really pitiful rush defense, a defense that's given up huge games to a lot of opposing running backs. And David Johnson's down to 5.2 thousand on DraftKings. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. He didn't play as many snaps last week. They said they wanted to, run the ball a little bit more. Obviously, it's a coaching change, but, Romeo Cornell is he's no offensive savant. So I suspect that we go back to what we saw the first couple of weeks when Bill O'Brien, I don't think, was calling the plays. And then on the other side of things, another pitiful defense against running backs is going to be the Houston Texans here. And we've got one of the most electric, exciting, greatest running backs that in the league right now in James Robinson. James Robinson is going to light this team up. I love him. He's a little bit more expensive than I wish he was, but that's just because I want all my good plays to be super cheap, so I don't have to be going out on a limb here. But James Robinson is putting up that production, and he's just kind of like that step off. Like, for example, last week, I think he needed around 18 fantasy points. He put up the yards and the usage. He was about 15. That's okay. Really needed that touchdown and kind of that little extra boost. But, I think that we might see that this week. So his involvement in the pass game is something that will continue to make him relevant. I don't think Chris Thompson ran a route last week. I think James Robinson got all 22. So
yeah, he's becoming an absolute 3-down back. If you've been listening to us since the pre-shows, I mean, I drafted him on every single team, told everybody to pick him up after drafts before week 1, told everybody to spend all their fab money immediately on him after week 1. I love him. He's quietly, I believe, the number 6 or number 7 fantasy scoring running back in PPR leagues right now. He's absolutely killing it out there. I played very little of him in DFS for no apparent reason, but the first lineup I did build in preparation for tonight had Watson, Fuller, David Johnson, and Robinson in it. So I'm a big fan of the other side of this ball. I think that even though Romeo Cornell is a defensive mind, I'm hoping he just lets somebody a little bit more fun call those offensive plays, and we see a little bit more out of Deshaun Watson because the guy is electric when he's allowed to let loose. So I'm all over that. Love it.
Yeah, Chris Thompson last week was not in the field at all. Duke Johnson had 5 carries and he had 4 targets with 3 receptions.
Duke.
So there's 2 D Johnsons on Houston.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Next.
I lost my spot. I'm sorry. I got distracted. You guys were boring me tonight. So playing Candy Crush on the side here. I'm not. It's not true. Not true. All right, a game that most likely will play. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 13-point favorites, 56.5 total on this one. Yeah, I mean, Waller is my boy here. I absolutely love Waller. I think it's a game that you could definitely play Carr if you wanted to get a little contrarian. And I'm going to call it right now. This is a Sammy Watkins game. He's having an every other week kind of season. And I'm on Sammy Watkins this week. Mark, you're laughing. Why?
Because you call Sammy Watkins every week. Every week's a Sammy Watkins game.
It's not a Sammy Watkins game. It's just every time we're chatting and we're talking about him, he just keeps being like $4,200. It's hard to, take a guy that could put up 25 fantasy points and has twice already this year for $4,000 every week.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Which he happened to do in week 1 and week 3, and now it's week 5. So obviously it's Sammy Watkins week.
He's on the odds.
That's right. Mark, anything out of the obvious here? I mean, CEH has been a little disappointing. I mean, not as an actual football player, but as a fantasy DFS scorer for his price point each week. But the Raiders give it up on the ground, but Kansas City doesn't seem to care about doing anything on the ground.
Yeah, that's the problem. But yeah, the Raiders are probably the worst run defense in the league right now. So I will have CEH in several of my lineups. I really like it. And let me just check here.
I mean, he hasn't broke 20 points yet is the problem, and he's like $7,000.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Wait, what do you mean?
He hasn't broke 20 points yet, has he?
He has.
Week one, not since week 1.
Oh, I apologize.
Week 2, or against the Ravens, he hit value 2. That was 18.4. So, 2 out of the 4 weeks. Last week, he played a really tough run defense, so he didn't really need to do a lot. So the offense wasn't working. God damn it, you stop that. I think Hilaire, fine play. I think it's absolutely a smash here. And I like Kansas City's defense. They're a little pricey, but that's kind of where I'm going to go as opposed to a Houston defense. Well, it's not a terrible play. It's just not where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I like Kansas City's defense here. It's just a matter of price.
Yeah, I think Waller is going to see probably another 12 to 15 targets. They got nobody else over there. So hard to not put Waller in if you've got the cash to drop on him.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks like Josh Jacobs averaging like 4 targets, 3 receptions. I don't know why Carr doesn't throw to him more. He seems to be catching the ball just fine, but until he does, Waller is the target.
I take it. Just taking notes, guys. Don't mind me. Just taking notes. Being studious. Putting Watkins in all capital letters. It's all fine. It's all fine. All right. Yeah, I mean, the plays on this game are pretty obvious. So let's just keep moving on. Arizona Cardinals versus the New York Jets, 47-point over-under. The Cardinals are favored by 7. I'm starting to think the Cardinals are bad at football. If they can't come out and play here, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'd like to say let's give Drake one more go, but I mean, we could see a 50% split or more in favor of Chase Edmonds. He seems to be more in favor in the coach's eyes right now. He seems to be more effective than Drake. Drake really broke my heart, man. You built me up so much on Kyler and Drake and these guys this year. I'm so heavily invested in seasonal, and he's breaking my heart. Chris, what's up with this?
It's been a couple weeks, man. Chill out.
He's been a quarter of the season, bro.
He's playing.
It's been a third of the fantasy season.
Okay, great. Did you have him in season long?
Yes.
Well, hey, you probably shouldn't have. But on a week-to-week basis, I still think that this is a smash spot. It's against the New York Jets, who've been terrible against running backs. They made Melvin Gordon look like a rock star. And he's still playing twice as many snaps as Chase Edmonds. So he's getting all of the rushing attempts for the most part. And, look, when they've been trailing, you get less of that. But you think Joe Flacco and Le'Veon Bell are going to, lead this New York Jets team to a lead? I don't.
I think it was 2012 they would.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe, but we're getting a drastically reduced price on Kenyon Drake down to 5,700. That's a much more tolerable spot. And again, if he scores a touchdown, he's really going to get us to where we need to go. So I'm still in for Drake. He's going to score 3 touchdowns. And
he's in that first lineup, Chris. You know I can't quit him. I can't quit him now.
No, I thought you only had one lineup. I thought you were only doing one lineup.
No. He's in that first lineup with those other 3 guys. It's DJ, Robinson, and Drake. That's him. He's in there.
So you have a lineup with 3 tight ends and 3 wide receivers?
No. The tight ends is just for the showdown. Just for the showdown.
I got you.
I'm going to play that too. You know I am. It's going to happen. Yeah, man, I can't quit him. You know I'm not going to quit him. You know it. You know I'm not going to quit him. I've played him every week. I'm going to keep it rolling. Mark, what do you got here?
I hate to say I really wanted to not play Drake this week, but against that Jets defense, I got to play him. It's ugly, but I will do it. I think this might be a good bounce back game for Kyler Murray. Didn't have the greatest game last week, but maybe he settles down, gets the running game going, doesn't have to put everything on his own shoulders, and can get a groove going.
I like it. Arizona defense in play for sure.
Yeah, you got Flacco as quarterback this week. Sam Darnold's been ruled out, so
yeah, I got no interest on the other side. I don't have any interest in Bell. Crowder, I don't think I have any interest without Darnold in there. So I'm out on the Jets. So I think this is a pretty easy 7-point victory for the Cardinals.
No Frank Gore?
No Frank Gore. No revenge game narrative there.
Guys, you're missing the play. Chris Herndon. Like, we don't have Sam Darnold throwing him the ball anymore. Maybe Sam Darnold's the problem. Maybe it's not Adam Gase. Maybe Joe Flacco with his new arm underthrowing it. Jeff Mann's going to talk about it. He can't throw it. Can't get it downfield. Chris Herndon ran 31 routes. 31 routes. Do you know how many routes he could have ran? Probably like 35 or 36. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But in terms of somebody that you could get some value in a really tough spot in the tight end spot. Although we do have Kelsey, we have Waller, we actually have a pretty nice little smorgasbord of tight ends this week. But Chris Herndon, yeah, I mean, why not? One more week. Let's do it one more time. Let's bring it.
I'll pass on his 3 targets and 1 reception. It's okay.
Here's what whoa. You're missing the point. It's not about targets. You're looking at results. That's the result is the target, and then the result of that is the catch. He ran 31 routes, which was actually 30% more routes than he had ran in the previous 3 weeks. So that's you got to be out there to catch the ball, right? You got to run a route to catch a target or to catch a ball, but you need the target to do that. This is the week. Book it. Chris Herndon, 5 catches.
Actually, an interesting stat would be as if he started running more routes after Flacco came in.
Well, I mean, look, he ran 31 routes. We've already established that there are certain numbers that like you have, and you can't go down, you can't go up. That's why kind of DJ Chark is. I mean, his market share was like 46, and his air yards were 46. It's going to be, it's going to be hard to go up from that. But I didn't mention that because I'm a nice guy. Okay.
All right, I wrote Herndon 5 catches down. There it is. It's over in my big book of notes. My big book of notes.
Really make your lineup tonight, and I'm not going to change it.
I like it.
It's going to feature Herndon.
Yeah.
I want that screenshot.
I'm going to put him in the flex, okay?
I want that screenshot. Send it to me. I like it. All right, moving on. Philadelphia Eagles heading to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 7-point favorite, 44.5 on the books here. I mean, you've got a Steelers team with an aged Ben Roethlisberger getting a week off with probably the best defense in the league. It couldn't set up better for the Steelers going against Philadelphia. I love the Steelers defense as we do most weeks, but even more this week. And probably some Connor, some Ebron. I think I don't know, man. I think the Eagles, they got the win on my 49ers, but they didn't look good. I don't think the Eagles are a good team. And I think Pittsburgh's going to just stuff them.
think you're right.
Yeah, I think this has 17-3 written all over this one. I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh's offense is much better than that, so maybe more than that. But I mean, I just think they're going to stuff Philadelphia. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree. Wentz has looked like complete garbage. He doesn't have anything to throw to right now. They're not really using Miles Sanders to his fullest potential.
Mm-hmm.
And Pittsburgh's got a great defense, and they'll be able to shut them down anyways. So I'm kind of in agreement. This sounds to me like a 24-27-3 game in favor of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I hate the Eagles here, man. Ertz and Wentz just are not on the same page. They're not clicking.
No.
It doesn't look good. I just love the Steelers getting a break already after only playing 3 games. I think that defense is going to come out fierce. Chris, what do you think?
I don't think it's that they're not clicking. I think it's that there's nobody else to throw to, and as a result, Ertz is getting double teamed, and he's not being able to get open. He's an older guy. He's not able to be as agile as he once was, and he really needs those guys on the outside to help open up the game for him. So I think that's more the issue that you have with Ertz. In terms of this game, yeah, the Steelers defense has just been fantastic. I think they're going to get to wins. I think they're going to force some turnovers, and there's certainly plays that we can look at on both sides. Ertz is still playable, if you ask me. I think Greg Ward is worth a consideration, at least on the Steelers side, or not the Steelers, the Eagles side of things. And I think Sean Jackson's supposed to come back, but I don't know. I don't want him. He got injured, and I told everybody that's when I could get away from him, and that's what I'm doing. Let's see, Miles Sanders, no really interest there. On the other side of things, Deontay Johnson has been priced up, but not to a point where we don't want to be, involved in that. That guy has been fantastic. Eric Ebron, 4,000. I mean, tight end is a much easier place to pick this week. But beyond that, James Conner's a little bit more expensive than I'd be interested in. So it's kind of where I'm at.
I'm going to shock you, man. I traded in a keeper league. I traded Shark for Connor straight up. Anyway.
Yeah. It's okay. Good.
Yeah. I had Eckler go down. I needed a piece. I had enough wide receivers. I traded for Connor. Can you believe it? Even though I think that Benny Snell is a better running back. It's fine. I already had Benny Snell on the team, so it just made sense to handcuff Benny Snell with Connor.
There you go.
Is Austin Jeffrey supposed to be back this week?
Still undetermined. I think that he had warm-ups in non-pads today. I'll have to look. I thought that's what I saw, but I'd have to go back and
he
look.
was limited practice. He's listed as questionable. Like, hey, look, if Jeffrey and Jackson are back, and it doesn't, and man, then I kind of really like Ertz at that point at 5,700. He's not going to have the same type of attention paid to him. Certainly don't like Greg Ward at that point, but I do like Ertz a lot more.
All right, so let's watch Djax and Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah, I stashed Jeffrey in 2 leagues. He was just sitting on the waiver wire and just after waivers cleared. So I'd like to see him come back and get some prominence after this week. That would be nice. All right, what else we got here? We got a Buffalo Bills Titans game that I don't think we need to talk about. The last 1 o'clock game, the LA Rams heading to the Washington football team. 7.5 point favorites are the Rams, 45 points over under. Haskins got benched, is what I hear.
Yeah, that's what Schefter tweeted out.
So Haskins benched. Is this a spot to play the Rams defense? But Allen played all right last year. He got a little play last year. Kyle Allen. He's not awful.
He's not?
He's probably awful. He's probably awful.
I mean, he's pretty bad. So can it get worse than Haskins? I mean, possibly. Like, the guy's not good. The fantasy outlook for these guys doesn't really change that much. I mean, he's not that much better and he's not that much worse. So, DJ Moore still had a good year considering. So McLaren should have a good year still. But Kyle Allen cannot throw the ball deep. And that's one of the biggest problems. He's got a lot of problems, but that's one of them.
Yeah, the real story here is what is this running back situation going to shape up on the Rams? I mean, you had Malcolm Brown destroy week 1. You had Henderson come in and just kill it for a couple weeks, and then they went to Brown for no apparent reason. Akers is probably back in the mix here. I know, Chris, you had a little buyer's remorse putting Henderson in over Brown.
Wow, dude. Thanks. I completely forgot about it after thinking about it for like 3 days. Oh, man, that would have been another six-figure day. It would have been about 132,000. Just swapping one guy for the other.
Yeah, it's not fun. Not fun at all. But neither is trying to figure out that backfield. I mean, any one of those 3 guys probably has the ability to get you the points you need. It's just a matter of which one are they going to use that week. So I hate it. It sucks. I'm staying away from it. Probably playing Woods and Cup if I want to. Goff is fine for me as well. Mark?
I don't think I'll be playing much in this game. Goff is okay. I'm impressed with Washington's defense. I feel like this is going to be a low scoring game, and so I don't think I'll have much of this.
Mark, what's going on today, man? You're impressed with everybody's defense. Defense is your thing. It's like Reginald's thing is kickers. Right now, your thing is defense. Like you're playing all the defenses. Danger's playing like 8 running backs and 3 tight ends on his lineup somehow. Right. Playing like every defense and just hoping for a low scoring week.
I didn't say I was playing it. I just said I like him against the Rams. I already told you the defense I'm playing.
Guys, we're missing out on 2 different things here, and we kind of glanced over it with the Kyle Allen switch. I think Logan Thomas has been a guy that we've targeted several different times, but one of the classifications that he's had on those targets is that the balls have been uncatchable. If you can't catch the balls because the balls aren't to your hands, like that's no good. Like it sounds fun to say, it's cool, but probably sucks to be the guy that has balls that are flying by your hands. So Logan Thomas might have balls all over his hands this week, and if he's getting those balls and they're at his hands, and maybe you can catch them and take them into the end zone, So that's one thing that we can look at is how many balls go into Logan Thomas's hands. The other one is how many balls get stuffed into Antonio Gibson's chest. This guy has looked super good the last couple weeks. Week 1, he was targeted a little bit more in the industry as a guy that could do something. He didn't produce. He didn't have the snap share. He wasn't out there, but he ran 14 routes last week, carried the ball like 13 times. I mean, I think we're going to see a little more Antonio Gibson, especially in that red zone area, and that's where you score touchdowns, guys. That's where you score touchdowns.
Fair. Moving on.
Okay.
Denver Broncos and New England Patriots. What are the thoughts here? I mean, before we even get into the game, do you think that there could be this game getting pushed back to Monday, Tuesday, like they did with Kansas City last week?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of really liked having the double Monday night game. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, that's one of the only ways I like to actually play these Denver Broncos. Tim Patrick, Deshaun Hamilton, those guys is on these primetime 2-game slates. Otherwise, I just don't really have a lot of interest in them. But outside of that, Tim Patrick has done me well in the last 2 years. There have been a couple times he's been on these short slates that he's came through and scored a touchdown. So,
and they're missing Gilmore, so that helps him a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, just maybe that's where he thrives is these type of situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think this game's going to get taken off the main slate personally. So, but who knows? Who knows what happens? They didn't do it with Cam out last week, so maybe Gilmore doesn't make a difference. It just depends on what else happens between now and then. But if it does stay in, I'm probably with you on that. I'm looking at Judy and I'm looking at Tim Patrick, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm getting a little deeper into the stats and trying to figure out where Gilmore would normally slot in and see which one of those guys benefits most. I haven't looked at those kind of things yet. And then on the other side, I mean, Damiere Byrd, he continues to be $3,000 every single week. He continues to get, I think he's had like 8 targets, 6 targets, 9 targets, like the last 3 weeks in a row. So I like Damiere Byrd again. Why not? Screw it. He came real close to scoring last week. Real close. Had 2 end zone targets. Looked good to me. Mark, what do you think about this game?
I don't really have much more of an opinion than what you guys are talking about. I like Jerry Jeudy. I like Tim Patrick. I think Brett Rippon looked fine for Denver. I mean,
Yeah, it looks like Locke
he
might
ain't
be
no
back.
Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah, it does look like Drew Lock was practicing today. He might be back for this game.
Well, that's even better. So
what's way more important is Mark. I don't know. Do you follow Better on Draft podcast still?
no.
So this is amazing. So I was really hoping I'd win some money last week that I could piss away because have you heard of Cameo, the webpage where you can get celebrities to record short messages for you?
Yeah.
So Better on Draft for their 5th anniversary, somebody paid Carol Baskins to do a promotion for them. And it's amazing. So go to Better on Draft's Facebook page and watch Carol Baskins talk about Better on Draft. It's amazing. This inspired me to look through what was available on Cameo. And I should have just called you guys and said, let's pull together and do it. But for $134, I could have Rex Burkhead come in and make fun of me for not playing him when he scored 3 touchdowns when I have a video telling people to play him and then cut it off of my advice. $134. We could have had Rex Burkhead on here making fun of Johnny Danger.
I know. I think Kevin Na is one of the biggest celebrities on there. He has one of the highest counts of videos. I guess his videos are hilarious on there.
This is amazing. This is what we need to. We need to make a pack, and that when we need to start playing a few lineups together, and when it wins money, all we're allowed to do with that money is buy cameos.
There you go.
It'll be amazing.
Did you? Okay, so I know that we talked about the. I don't even know if we talked about it on air, but the whole fantasy cruncher, Manny Laura.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had somebody had Chris Hansen do a cameo.
Oh yes, I did. I saw that. That was good. Yeah, that was actually the first thing I saw when you were like, "Hey, check out this whole Manny Laura thing," and I couldn't find anything on it, and then I found that video after I was talking to you about it. It was amazing.
there was another really good one that was done a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago. It was, if you know who Big T is, he used to be on Roto Grinders. Now he's at Run Pure Sports. They did a cameo. I don't remember the actor's name, but he was the guy, the flamboyant billionaire in the Silicon Valley, and he did this cameo in the bathroom, just talking about Big T and like his thing is like, I heard you win the giblets, and he's like, you know what, Big T, you're probably the guy at Run Pure Sports that fucks. You're the guy that just really fucks, aren't you? And just went through this whole thing, and it was really funny because, some of those guys don't really put a lot into it, but he did it in character. It was fantastic. I'm trying to find it right now to send it to you, but I can't at the moment.
All right. It's still funny. So, man, it would have been great to just surprise you guys with Rex Burkhead making fun of me for not playing him. That would have been
epic.
Amazing. But $134 while unemployed is out of my budget for such kicks. So, sadly.
Well, we'll get you a big win here soon.
Yeah, I'd like that. Will it come on the backs of the Indianapolis Colts going to Cleveland Browns? 47 is the target there. 2-point favorite are the Colts. The Browns obviously lost Nick Chubb. I believe that Chris Emmerich could be fantasy sports foremost expert on D'Ernest, as I believe we wrote in earnest about D'Ernest on draftforupside.com during the AAF times.
Yeah, who cares about D'Ernest Johnson? Let's not play him. Let's look at Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, fantastic spot here. I love D'Ernest. As being the second, or at least a top 5 analyst in the AAF. The guy that had the cool website probably was above me, despite the fact that he was disparaging of me that one time, and I got to throw the GPP win in his face. Like, fuck you. I'm being a little aggressive today, guys. Not suitable for work, but you know what? It's 9:30 at night, so you're probably not at work unless you're Mark, because Mark works all the time. Certainly no, it's not danger right now, right? Bam. Oh shit. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But hey, play Kareem Hunt and you'll never have to work again.
I like it. Mo Alley Cox. I mean, I realized that he only only got that one catch, but it was a touchdown. He's got touchdowns in 2 straight games. They're using them, but with Jack Doyle back, with what's his name?
Trey Burton.
Trey Burton there. I think I got to get off the Mo Alley Cox train.
You're saying no more Cox for you.
I got to get off the Cox. That's what I'm trying to say. I think I got to be done with it. I felt bad because a friend of mine was asking for some advice, and he said, real quick, am I playing Cox or am I playing Tanyan? And I said, Cox for me. Green Bay doesn't utilize the tight end as much as I'd like to see. Luckily, I said I was sorry the next day, and he said, I didn't listen to you. I put Tanyan in. So that's good.
Yeah, your friend knows. Your friend knows.
But except for I was like all about it that first minute because Cox scored immediately, like the first drive of the game. Mo Alley Cox scores a touchdown. I'm like, ha! And then of course Tanyan has a game of a century for a tight end.
Well, I mean, I guess he's a friend of the pod. He's watched the show, so he kind of knew to zig when you were zagging. I guess.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He's in our DFS contest. I mean, he's a longtime listener. He's a good friend. What up, Charles? Just saying hi.
So a little bit of a trivia question for you. Do you know Tanyan's original NFL team?
I'm going to go with the Lions since you're asking me.
Yes, absolutely. The Lions signed him and put him on the practice squad, then cut him.
Yeah. They like to do that, don't they?
Yeah, they're just great evaluators of talent. Just
amazing evaluators. Amazing evaluators. I love looking over at our page, seeing 0 watchers. That's fine.
That's fine. We'll pick them up on the podcast.
That's right. We will. We always do. Oh, what are we moving on to? Do we want to talk any more about this game? I mean, Phillip Rivers sucks. Taylor hasn't paid off his price but once.
Yeah, let's not go to Taylor. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But
yeah, I was just saying, do we want to talk about anybody here? Taylor's too expensive for what he produces, and I kind of like the Browns defense.
Yeah, no Taylor. T.Y. Hilton's washed. Zach Pascal is not somebody that I want. Phillip Rivers is a guy that has no arm strength anymore. Yeah, man. I'm not even really super interested in Odell on the other side or Austin Hooper. It's just kind of cream hunt for me. I think they were in a nut spot last week. And Indianapolis's defense, despite the challenges they had week 1 against Gardner Minshew, I think they just needed to kind of gel. I don't think they're an elite unit, but they are I think they're kind of that like bend, don't break type of unit that we saw from New England under defensive genius Matt Patricia. And yeah, so I'm not interested.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of where we were at. Not super into it. I like the running game on Cleveland's side. I like Cleveland's defense. New York Giants heading to Dallas, 10-point favorites. Cowboys. The Cowboys have been making people money. Have been absolutely making people money. Not only just Dak Prescott, but whoever is playing against them. I have recommended Daniel Jones all year long. I'm not going to stop because it's just fun when I get tipsy to keep talking about Daniel Jones. Does he actually have a chance to pay off this week?
Well, let's be honest, Danger. The reason that you do it is because you don't really have to rewrite the paragraph, and so you've kind of got it memorized now. It's difficult for you to read. You do the tipsy picks with your glasses off, and so it's just nicer and more familiar to have familiar content. It's like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to go to the bathroom, you've been drinking. It's easier to do that in your own bedroom because you understand the layout of the floor, what's there, where you're going to turn. You do it at a hotel, you stub your foot, your toe, your foot, something happened and it's bad.
Not good.
Yeah, look, and that's what Daniel Jones is to you. He's
right.
Your home bathroom. He's where you take a piss right now. Like that's it. Like, I don't know. I like Slayton. I think he's going to be highly owned, and I think a guy like Slayton, though, to be on a real, level here is, I mean, you got to play somebody, right? And Slayton's the obvious play, but Slayton's a guy that catches, deeper passes. He's got really good air yards. I mean, like 44% of the air yards. That's a lot. 46 from week 1. So he is down from week 1 by your own accord. And yeah, I don't know. That's just a tough guy to type and play.
It is. Is Zeke going to pay off 7,800 this week?
I like it. I actually I think Dallas will pull ahead here, and we'll actually get more Zeke usage instead of Dak throwing the ball the entire second half. So I like playing Zeke here.
I want to tell you you're wrong, but I don't. I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm starting to.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah, look at that. The first thing I went to in this one was looking at Zeke and looking at Lamb, and I like Lamb, of course. I like Cooper at home, but Lamb's even creeped up to like $6,000. So there's no value there. The value at all is maybe they pull out ahead and they give Cedric Wilson some run, like $44,000 Cedric Wilson. He's definitely on. He was in the waiver wire seasonal article as just a guy to keep an eye on. If there is any injury to those top three receivers, Cedric Wilson becomes of interest there. And maybe in a blowout, he sees some garbage time. Yeah, that's all I got there. I got no interest in Freeman. I'll probably play a lineup with Jones if I end up playing the quarter arcade or something. But right now, just one lineup.
Freeman's is I don't know if it's a good play this week, but it is interesting. Last week he got 11 attempts. He got 4 targets, 4 receptions. So they're starting to integrate him in better. He's getting into game shape. So I can see that usage increasing. I'm not saying this is a good week for it, but I think Freeman's a player to watch.
All right. Well, guys, that was the end of the main slate games. We do have the Sunday night game, Minnesota Vikings in Seattle, the Monday night game, the Chargers and the Saints, which looks like they might be moving to Indianapolis to play because of the hurricane bearing down on New Orleans. But that's it for now. You'll see some articles from one or two of these guys or both for Sunday night and Monday night football games. I really hope that New England game gets pushed because it was nice having the 2 games Monday night. I like that a lot, but we'll see what happens. What else is on your mind, guys?
Want to do some prize picks?
I do want to do some prize picks. I'm glad you asked. So let's look at the Thursday night prize picks. Let me get it opened. So if you're not familiar with prize picks, I did put the link in the comments to this video on our Facebook page, prizepicks.com. If you would like to use my invite code 01502292, I would appreciate you. We're going to be doing some more with them, and I will be putting out articles on fantasyfootballblueprint.com. I've done a terrible job of telling people where to find us, but it's scrolling on the bottom now, so it's all good, along with our Twitter handles. Our DMs are open, especially and probably only if you are members at fantasyfootballblueprint.com, but we're always happy to help you out with start sit questions, with lineup questions, with showdown questions. You name it, we'll help you answer it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the prize picks. If you don't know what prize picks is, it's an alternate fantasy sports game where they give you a projection based on their fantasy points, which are very similar to regular PPR point scoring, which you can find on their webpage. And they give you a projection, and you choose 2, 3, or 4 players, and you choose whether they will go over or under. You don't have to do them all from the same game or same sport. You can actually mix in NFL with NBA, with Major League Baseball, with League of Legends, you name it, you can mix it up. But anyways, they're like parlays, right? You bet the prop, you get it right, you win. So there's several different games. You can do the 2 for 2, 3 for 3, 4 for 4. And the 3 and the 4 game, you can play the flex play where you can actually get one wrong and still win for the week. Of course, your winning multiplier goes down when that happens, but at least you can get one wrong and still get all of your money back, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, guys. You've got 1 point for 25 yards. You've got 4 points for touchdowns for quarterbacks, of course, for throwing touchdowns. You've got your standard 1 point per reception. You've got 1 point for every 10 yards rushing and receiving, minus 1 point for interception, minus 1 point for fumble. Tom Brady, 18 points. Mark, over or under?
Under.
Chris?
14?
18.
Give me a second here.
That's 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you want that broken down easier.
I'm gonna go strong under 100%.
I'm with you. I'm going to go under. On the other side of the ball, Nick Foles, 16. I got an under. Mark?
I'm going to go over. I see 2 touchdowns, Allen Robinson.
Chris, tiebreaker. 16 for Foles. 16 for Foles. That'd be 200 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I'm gonna go under.
Ronald Jones, 15 points. 15
I'm going over. I'm going over. I'm going over. Going over, please.
On Foles or Jones?
Foles on Foles.
All right, you've switched back. All right.
No. I'm just kidding. No, keep it.
All right, going over on Foles. All right, Chris. Ronald Jones, 15. 15. Let's see. You need 100 overall yards and 5 catches. You need a touchdown in half that.
I'm gonna go under.
Mark's going under. I'm going under as well. David Montgomery, 12 points. 12 measly points. A touchdown and 60 yards get you 12 points.
Under.
I'm going to go under. Chris, what'd you say?
I'm going to go over.
Over. He likes the Monty. I like it. Da, 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 da. All right. Rob Gronkowski, 7 points. I'm going under. Chris?
Under.
Mark?
Under.
Allen Robinson, 15.5. Mark?
Over.
Strong performance. Strong performance. Chris?
Over.
I'm gonna go under, just to fade the crowd. I like it. Scotty Miller, a whole whopping 12.
Under.
Under for me, Chris.
Under.
God, I hate everybody. I said under on everyone. This is not good. I'm gonna have to reevaluate this. 13 points for Mike Evans.
13.
Yeah, I think I might go over.
Yeah, I'll go over.
I wouldn't even play him because he might not play. I don't know what that does to your prize picks.
I will tell you, if they do not start a game, let's say you picked 4 players and Evans is one of them and he's injured and does not take a snap, then it automatically moves you down to the 3-for-3 game instead of the 4-for-4.
Well, I want 4-for-4.
So that's what it's going to do. It automatically moves you down. So, which was great for me when I was playing some baseball and there was a weather delay and then the pitchers only pitched like 3 innings. That was awesome because I was under on both of them. So that worked for me. Just a couple more here, actually. Just one more wide receiver and the 2 kickers. We've got Anthony Miller, 10 points. I'm going under. I hate everything about this game, apparently.
Yeah, under.
Who? What?
Anthony Miller, 10 points.
Oh, under. Yeah, for sure.
All right. And then finally, we have both kickers at 7 points.
Both kickers combined?
No, 7 points each. 7 points, 7 points. Over or under?
Under.
Over on both, you said, Chris?
Yes, please.
I actually kind of like that call. You do get the bonus for the length. So I'm going over on both as well. Mark?
Sorry,
I didn't know you got the bonus on the length.
Oh, come on, Mark. You always get the bonus on the length.
You said 6 points each?
7.
7 points each? Is it one bet or are they separated?
No, they're separate.
You get the bonus for the length.
Chicago's kicker under and Tampa's kicker over.
You score touchdowns when the balls hit your hand.
Actually, Suck Up is actually 7.5. My bad.
That's all right. Yeah, go over.
And then they do defensive players too. I don't mess with IDP, so I never give advice on those. But there are resources out there if you are IDP players that show you average tackles and all the things and blah, 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 blah. I don't mess with IDP, so you're on your own with those. And that is Prize Picks, guys. Easy as that. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players to choose from out of this particular game, and you just choose over under. You pick 2, 3, or 4, and the prizes are go up the more you try to get right. I enjoy it. It's been fun. I've been having fun. Final thoughts, my friends.
The Lions aren't playing, so it's going to be a good week.
Good week for you. I like that. Chris, you taking a look at these money lines, these over-unders yet? Anything that's spiked your interest early on for these? I know you like to do a few bets.
I'm not the guy that you want to go to football bets, man. Like that's just not the wrong spot. I mean, I will tell you that last week my most highly conviction bet, aside from that stupid Dwayne Haskins one that was wrong. Oh wow, there's a dog here.
Doggy.
Oh, look at that! I blew it up. Have you scored last week? Oh no, you haven't. Man, you were just slacking on all these things. But
had a busy week. I sent you your money. Shut up.
Tampa Chargers game was we discussed was a ridiculous thing. But no, I haven't looked at anything. Sorry.
All right. We'll get Lou on here one of these days. He likes to talk bets. So it'd be fun to have Reginald or Lou on here one of these days. We gotta bust those guys' balls.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lou will come on once the Yankees are done playing, right? Is that a scene?
Yeah, he's a Yankees guy. Yeah, he's a Yankees guy. And then I did chat with Adam briefly. He says he misses us. He hasn't forgot about us. He's just too damn busy trying to get his new business off the ground. So he said he'll be back. Don't lose hope.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even remember the guy.
I don't know. I saw you just squeaked over him in the DFS league for the lead.
You know what? After that first week, it was great. The last couple of weeks have been kind of tough in GPPs, but fuck, I should be playing cash games. Like when you look at this, my cash game lineups have been fantastic because these lineups that I'm putting in there are my primary. What would be my cash game lineup?
Sure. Yeah.
To have this type of consistency is just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I keep waiting for your guys' cash game lineup breakdowns. Mark, you used to do those for me, man. Come on. Why are you so busy with work and stuff? It's bullshit.
Dude, I did a little thing in our chat where I was breaking down how bad everybody else's lineups were for that contest because there was some really, really terrible lineup. Mark Scherzer was really good last week. I'm sorry you didn't do better. But it was
that was my cash lineup and it did really good. So I made money for the week.
Hey, all 5 of us from fantasyfootballblueprint.com were top 8. I was 8. I think Mark or Reginald was 7. Yeah. Reginald was 5th, and then you and Adam were 3rd and 1st, or 3rd and 2nd. 3rd and 2nd. Yeah.
2nd and 3rd.
As long as I'm always above danger, I'm okay.
Oh, dude, I'm 40 points behind the next closest guy from the bottom. It's fine. It's fine.
See, now it gets interesting for you because instead of actually, at what point do you stop trying to play for the season-long tournament?
Right.
Just trying to play for 2 or 3 wins throughout the year?
I think it starts right now. I think it's already too late. I'm 40 points behind the next closest guy, and I'm 200 points behind you. So.
Oh, you're 200? Ooh, yeah. No,
yeah, bro.
Started.
Yeah. Yeah, I screwed up, put the wrong lineup in the first week, and then I made a big deal about that. And then the second week, I scored 70 points. So,
ouch.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Second week was the trust Phillip Rivers week for no apparent reason. So, yeah, not good. All right, guys. Well, let's take this offline. I am Johnny Danger. With me, Chris Emmerich and Brewery Mark. You can find us on Twitter underneath there. You can find us on draftforupside.com. You can find all of our paid content. Figure out how to win $217,000 in 1 week between these two fools sitting next to me at fantasyfootballblueprint.com. We'll see you Sunday morning, 11 a.m. for First Sip.
See ya.